yes, that music means only one thing on a Friday. It's time to welcome back Van Connor, one of the country's leading film critics and our Freeview film recommender. Of course, the Previewer Supreme. Now, when it comes to my favourite Vans, there is a lot of competition. I do love Van Morrison. I love the static electricity-inducing invention, the Van de Graaff generator. My favourite van is, of course, Van Rouge. But a close second is Van Connor, who's with us now. Good morning, Van. How you doing, matey? How's your week been, Van?
Well, do you know, I've had kind of a Van Wilder week. I partied a bit too hard the weekend, got hit by a car and lost a few ribs. So no. I'm having a gentle one this week, if I'm honest.
Oh no, well, cracked ribs and all sorts.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a wounded warrior right now, I'm not going to lie. But you know what, I get to talk movies with you, so it's all worthwhile.
And it's perfect you're doing this stuff, of course. It means you can lie prone on your bed of pain and watch great movies on Freeview on the TV. What's your first recommendation, please? I know it's a three-letter word, the title beginning with T, ending in D, I think with a vowel in the middle. Tell us more about Ted.
Indeed, but I mean, I want Ned, the Ned Flanders Simpsons spin-off movie where they play like Cape Fear. I think that's a movie someone needs to make. But for now, we'll settle for Ted, which was the feature directorial debut of Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane. He also writes the script and actually voices Ted himself. Ted, for the purposes of our story here, is a child's teddy bear who was brought to life by a magic wish, but given that he ages like a person does, has kind of just become a foul-mouthed a-hole, for lack of a better term, when he's become an adult, alongside his now 40-year-old friend who was the child who cast the wish. And it's all about how his human friend's girlfriend, as their relationship becomes more serious, drives them apart, and how they come back together in the name of friendship and brotherly love. Co-starring Mark Wahlberg, as these things naturally want to do. This was my birthday movie in 2012. I absolutely love this movie. There's some gags in here that will kill me until the day I die. I'm aware of how that statement sounds. But you can see this tonight, ITV2, 9 p.m. There's so many incredible gags. There's the best homage anyone's ever paid to Flash Gordon in here as well. And Patrick Wilson and Ryan Reynolds. What's not to love? And what
clip have you got for us? I'm wondering if it's the White Trash favourite girl's name clip.
Of course it is, because who doesn't love remembering that Mark Wahlberg improvised all of this?
Now, I met him many years ago when I was hosting the Big Breakfast, and it was then Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, and he was a slightly distant, diffident, just post-teenager. I didn't realise what a huge comedic talent he was going to become. For this scene alone, the man deserves some kind of...
No one did.
I mean, it's amazing what he's achieved. And this is, I'd imagine, mainly ad-libbed. It's on ITV2. What time is it on tonight? If you've never seen it, even if you have, record it again, download it. It's fantastic. What time is it?
Oh, yeah. 9 p.m. tonight, sir.
I'd go for Candice Marie. Here's what Ted and Mark Wahlberg come up with.
How's work?
Sucks.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, not bad, actually. I met a girl. She's a cashier.
No way, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we should double date or something. You, me, and Laurie, and what's her name?
White trash name, guess.
Mandy.
Nope.
Marilyn.
Nope.
Brittany.
Nope.
Tiffany.
Nope.
Candace.
Nope.
Don't me on this.
Do you see me with you? All
right, speed round. I'm going to rattle off some names, and when I hit it, buzz it, okay?
I will tell you.
You got me?
Yeah.
All right, Brandy, Heather, Channing, Brianna, Amber, Sabrina, Melody, Dakota, Sierra, Bambi, Crystal, Samantha, Autumn, Ruby, Taylor, Tara, Tammy, Lauren, Charlene, Chantel, Courtney, Misty, Jenny, Krista, Mindy, Noelle, Shelby, Trina, Reba, Cassandra, Nikki, Kelsey, Shauna, Jolene, Erling, Claudine, Savannah, Casey, Dolly, Kendra, Kylie, Chloe, Devin, Emily, Becky?
Nope.
Wait, was it any one of those names with a Lynn after it?
Yes.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Brandy Lynn, Heather Lynn,
Tammy Lynn.
Gotcha! That is a fantastic scene, a great movie. It's Ted. It's also like an ITV2. Now, I've gone for a favourite of both of us. I had to wrestle with it for this one. I've got him first. We mentioned it before. It's on Film 4 tonight from 1990, and it's the calling card for Sam Raimi to reinvent Spider-Man. I prefer it to his first Spider-Man film, I must say, because it looks like a 40s comic book, as drawn by Bill Finger and Bob Kane, like Batman. There's some strange angles. Great cast, led by Liam Neeson as Darkman, who's hideously scarred and disfigured in an accident. Luckily, he works out a way of repairing his face. I mean, his face then becomes anybody's face he likes. It's a great twisted, it's got a 1940s feel. It's a little comic book. It's a comic book film that looks like a comic book. And I just think this is pretty much a perfect comic book movie. A perfect movie, in fact, I think, Bailey. I think in its way, this is the Citizen Kane of superhero films.
Well, the story behind this film goes that Raimi get the Batman job, which inevitably went to Tim Burton, and they wouldn't allow him the rights to The Shadow, which of course then wound up getting made in '94 with Alec Baldwin, and instead his Yeah, his response, much like Matt Stone and Trey Parker would do years later when they were turned down for the Thunderbirds rights and just went and made Team America instead. Sam Raimi decided, I'm going to make my own one with Blackjack and the Hookers. And he made Darkman, which is literally a Sam Raimi official rip-off of The Shadow, and is weirdly so much better, as you point out, than the actual movie they made with Alec Baldwin of The Shadow 4 years after this. This thing's awesome. It's got Frances McDormand, future Oscar winner for Nomadland, Frances McDormand as the love interest, Liam Neeson. Yeah. I think really doing the action thing properly for the first time sort of Taken, before Batman and Taken, and it led to two of the greatest titles for a sequel ever, which are Darkman 2, The Return of Durant, and Darkman 3, Die, Darkman Die, which I'll treasure until the day I die.
And I must say, what I love about it is, I mentioned Citizen Kane advisedly because, of course, one of the actors who played The Shadow, Lamont Cranston, on radio in the 40s was, who knows what was Orson Welles himself, who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men. The Shadow knows. Well, so does Darkman. It's 9 o'clock. It's tonight. It's on Film 4 from 1990. It's timeless, though. It's a cracking film, yet rough around the edges. Yet it's a bit campy, a bit self-conscious. All the better for it. And here's a burst of the trailer. Enjoy it. I know you will.
They destroyed everything he had. All that he loved. Everything that he was. Now, crime has a new enemy, and justice has a brand new face.
I was afraid that you wouldn't want me anymore.
Of course I still want you.
The good news is that I know who's behind our little troubles of late. Finish it.
He has the power to look like any man.
These two are both sons of witches!
But he is unlike any man.
I gotta tell you something about me. He's a cockroach. Think you kill him? And he pops up someplace else.
Die, Darkman Die, only you won't in the first one there. So that's 9 o'clock tonight on Film 4. And your second film is something else that had I spotted first, I'd have recommended. Tell us about your choice number 2 on Freeview this weekend, Van, if you would.
So I'm trying to work out which way around the title on this one. I believe the film is officially called Ford v Ferrari, but in Europe alone it is entitled Le Mans 66. It of course stars Matt Damon and Christian Bale. It is the story of, is it the GT40? I can't remember the specific.
I think it's one of those American cars generally, isn't it? Who compete in the endurance race Le Mans.
It is. But it was the two car creators going head to head at Le Mans to see who could take home the glory, and it fell to Carroll Shelby, played for the screen by Matt Damon, in a movie that also features, amongst all things, John Bernthal as Lee Iacocca, which is just awesome casting. I mean, just getting John Bernthal anyway is a great thing. But it's Christian Bale as I think his name's Ken Mattingly in this movie that absolutely owns it, and there is just a sequence of Christian Bale driving around the test track, speaking in the weirdest, like Russell Crowe level Yorkshire accent you've ever heard, and just say to yourself, "Oh, cheese cob and a sausage roll, oh yeah." It's an incredible movie. It's the ultimate dad movie. It's a movie I wish I could watch with my dad. Like, give me that opportunity, it'd be amazing. Or, I'm sure he would have loved to watch with his dad. It's a movie everyone would watch with their dad, and you can see this, funnily enough, Channel 4, 9 o'clock Saturday night. So, just have a night with your dad Saturday night.
After a great night of football, great day of football, in advance of Father's Day, which is June, of course. And I've actually watched this with my dad. That same weekend, we watched the Steve McQueen film, Le Mans, which I'm pretty much alone in enjoying, which is basically people driving round, no script to speak of them, just round and round. But there is something. It's almost old-fashioned, this film, I think, Le Mans 66, but in a good way, because it's about, and any film that can make you think the Ford Motor Company is the underdog has got to be a masterpiece, hasn't it? Try it.
Oh, I know. Can you imagine?
So you've got a clip for us there, Bad.
Yes, I've got a clip for you. So this is Christian Bale, cast completely against type, naturally, having a temper tantrum with someone on the set of the event that he's about to take part in. You can see this Saturday night, Channel 4, 9:20. It is such a banger. The director has done the new Indiana Jones movie that's out month after next in June. James Mangold, hell of a guy, makes an amazing movie there's a reason he's taking over for Spielberg. So catch this. Bale's awesome in it. So is Damon.
Channel 4 tomorrow night. Here we go.
Look out there. Out there is the perfect lap. No mistakes. Every gear change, every corner. Perfect. You see it?
I think so.
Most people can't. Most people don't even know it's out there, but it is. It's there.
Wow, great film that is. That's on Film 4. It's tomorrow night, of course. So my recommendation for tomorrow is on the Horror Extra channel, which is a Freeview channel. Horror Extra, which is kind of just before you get into the likes of great movies, as in great movies, the channels, and also Talking Pictures TV. 9 o'clock tomorrow night. And it comes from my favourite period of David Cronenberg's career, when he was very much regarded as a monstrous Canadian mutant invading Hollywood with revolting films. Films like Rabid, Shivers, All Hail the New Flesh, body horror. Scanners is up there with those films. It's basically about people who can scan your mind and read your mind, and if you dare to annoy them, upset them, they will quite literally, even in the trailer, they concentrate, big veins come in their forehead, and your head explodes. Revolting special effects, very primitive special effects, a great plot, very scary, paranoia-inducing film. My favourite film of his of all time, I think, is Videodrome, with James Woods and Debbie Harry turns up in it, which is literally All Hail the New Flesh. He then, and I know The Fly, his version of The Fly with Jeff Goldblum is a great film, but for me, that's the beginning of him becoming mainstream Cronenberg, which is no bad thing, but it doesn't bring the kind of David Lynch vision of horror, which he gave us beforehand. And this is an absolute cracker. This made him money, of course it did. All these films made money. It hasn't got the kind of top shelf clout of something like Rabid or Shivers, which had, I think, Marilyn Chambers in it, a big adult porn star of the time. And again, that was going against the Hollywood grain. But it's an interesting film. It's from 1981, so if, don't expect amazing special effects. But what's better is there is no CGI. When they explode people's heads, they were using genuine bits of liver and offal and stuff. And I think in one scene in particular, one of the bigger scenes, the extras didn't know what was about to happen, which would be very sounds like unfair bullying, but you can tell their reactions were rather genuine. So, look there! That man's head's just blown up. So it's on 9 o'clock. It's on Horror Extra from 1981. It's called Scanners. Are you a Cronenberg fan? I mean, fans may be the wrong word with Cronenberg. I watch his films a bit like I watch Roadkill.
I love a Cronenberg movie. I will admit I'm very basic in that I love The Fly, because The Fly for me, The Fly is to Cronenberg what Terminator 2 is to James Cameron.
True,
if you follow my drift. Like it's that point that you reach adulthood and you've found your final form and you're moving from there. I will say though, you like that very specific period of David Cronenberg, you need to watch all of the Brandon Cronenberg ones if you've not already. The ones like there's Possess, recently had Infinity Pool. I think he genuinely is, Antiviral as well. He is definitely an apple that has not fallen far from the tree.
Marvellous stuff. Then it's a family affair, and we've got Scanners, 9 o'clock tomorrow night, Horror Extra from 1981. Here we go.
I would like to scan all of you in this room, one at a time.
There are 4 billion people on Earth. 237 are scanners. They'll control your mind, conquer your will, manipulate your body like a toy.
Self-destruct, 5 seconds.
The pain begins. In your flesh. In your brain.
4 seconds.
You feel its power.
3 seconds.
The pressure. The pounding. The terror.
2 seconds.
You can't breathe. It chokes you. It destroys you.
1 second.
You begin to self-destruct. Experience the terrifying power of scanners. You pray it will end, and it will. Scanners. Their thoughts can kill.
We've all had hangovers like that, though, have we not, man? Great film, that is Scanners, 9 o'clock. My final recommendation is a bit of a quirky one, if I may say. When it came out, this film lost money, was much derided, and apparently it was only made by Columbia because Dan Aykroyd said to Bill Murray, look, you want to make this Somerset Maugham novel adaptation, a bit worthy about a man trying to find himself and find a meaningful life after the First World War. If you want to make it, commit to doing this film called Ghostbusters. They think that'll make money, and we'll give you the money for Columbia, give you the money for that, which is apparently what happened. I enjoyed this film at the time. The novel's fantastic. It was an original version starring Tyrone Power, which was Oscar-nominated Film of the Year from 1946. This is spectacular to look at. They filmed it over, I think it was 18 months filming on and off, immediately wrapped, Bill Murray went into Ghostbusters, which overshadowed this film. It's got a bit of a cult following now. It turns up, I think, on Sunday evening on Talking Pictures TV, just after midnight Sunday, so it's kind of into Monday morning, but I know you cut me some slack on that one. It's got Deborah Russell in it. Oh, sorry, Teresa Russell in it. It's got, of course, Bill Murray. Great, directed by John Bryan. Had a weird career, didn't quite ever make the kind of big time the way he should have done, and it is luscious to look at. Bill Murray's almost gloriously miscast in it because he can't help being funny in the film. It's meant to be very intense, but even so, it's a real cinematic curio. If you've not seen it, folks, give it a go. I've got a burst of the trailer. It's Sunday night into Monday morning, just after midnight on Talking Pictures TV, The Razor's Edge.
A thin line separates love from hate.
You give me so much, Larry.
It's very easy to love someone like you.
Success from failure. Life from death.
When Piedmont died, I found out there's another debt to pay for the privilege of being alive.
A line as difficult to walk as a razor's edge. Bill Murray in the story of one man's search for himself. The Razor's Edge.
See, people wanted Caddyshack and they wanted Ghostbusters and they wanted Scrooge. They did not want then of The Razor's Edge. The original starred Tyrone Power. This is my third and final recommendation. Razor's Edge, just after midnight, Sunday into Monday morning. And you've got something rather jolly for us to end with, something to cheer us all up, Van.
Yes, I have. So I'm following in your example, and I'm going for one that's like Sunday night into Monday morning on this. But you know what? It's a bank holiday. Yep. So there's a chance we all might have been at the pub a bit late Sunday night, more than usual. So stumbling home, Channel 4, 5 minutes to midnight. We might fancy a film with a, peak sexiness, Brad Pitt, a peak hotness, Angelina, black cocktail attire, handguns adjacent, and lots of domestic explosions. It is, of course, 2005's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, better known as We Were on a Break, the movie, if you go by the celebrity. Because that's kind of what this was. Because within about 10 years, you had in fiction, you had We Were on a Break, and then in the real world, you had Brad cheated on Jen with Angelina. And I watched the movie ahead of picking this because I hadn't seen it in a long time. And wow, this is a sexy flick.
And
this is one hell of a hot movie.
Didn't Tom Cruise turn it down to make the rather poor Night and Day, I think? He was offered this first, I think, and he made the wrong choice. Great film. Where can we see this one on Sunday into Monday, or just before midnight on Sunday? Where can we see it, Van?
Just before, so Channel 4, 11:55. Enjoy the sounds of Brad Pitt and Angelina trading wits, and they really go for it in this movie in a way that I really forgot that they did.
We see a bit of sequel to it. Tell us a bit of that off-screen, your podcast you do with your pal.
Oh, well, you can hear myself and BBC's Adam Ball tomorrow from 8 a.m. on podcast platforms reviewing the week's new releases, which this week include Jim Broadbent and Penelope Winton in The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, which is a really unusual story that owes debt to everything from Mike Leigh to David Lynch's The Straight Story. So it's going to be an interesting week, I think.
It's a good film, that. It's not Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is on just before midnight, Sunday night on Film 4. Here's a clip, and after that we're going for the news and the sport on talkSPORT and Talk Radio. We're live till 5. Cheers, Van.
Why do you think we failed? Because we were leading separate lives? Or was it all the lying that did us in?
I have a theory. Newly formed.
I'm breathless to hear it.
You killed us.
Provocative.
You approached our marriage like a job, something we recon, planned, and executed.
And you avoided it.
What do you care if I was just a cover?
Who said you were just a cover?
Wasn't I?
Wasn't I?
Think True Lies, I think even sexier, and that's Fan's final recommendation, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Meanwhile, we've got the Met Office standing by with the weekend bank holiday weekends weather for you right after this.